Excuse me if I'm a little bit unsure. This is the first time I've ever live streamed, and I figured give it a try because I want to use these kind of things for future things that I'll be doing. So hopefully, if this works out, I'll be able to actually do it in the future as well. Even if no one watches it what's at the time, I'm just going to basically carry on doing it as I would do normally for the latest mods. As you can see, there's quite a few different things popping up at the moment. This is once again for the latest mods for Fallout 4 for the PlayStation 4. Okay, so jumping into it like we would do normally. If you a little bit of quick self-indulgent for the channel itself. If you haven't ever seen any of the best mods reviews before, they're all up on my playlist on the channel at the moment. And basically, over the past off weeks, what we usually do is we do one of the categories, and then we do the latest, and we'll move to another one of the categories, and we'll go back to the latest ones. Excuse me, just clearing my throat. Right, so starting off this week, we're going to go right from the very first one, which is the USO Season Pass add-on for unlocked settlement objects. Somebody mentioned to me the other day that they're having a problem with some of the USO stuff that was coming up blacklisted and things like that. I'm not entirely sure if you need to own the season pass in order to have all of his other things. So if you are watching this, the guy who back messaged me about it for settlement objects, then just have a look at your description, see if it does require the season pass, because that might be one of the reasons why you can't get some of your settlement objects to work. Basically, this one is for add-on for unlocked settlement objects and requires all the DLC basically. PlayStation 4, again, the one. USO Far Harbor add-on for unlocked settlement objects, again, requires Far Harbor. And his required mod of the USO base game core components of unlocked settlement objects. If you're looking for any of this guy's stuff, just search for Andrew WCX. Excuse me. Another UCO one for Far Harbor, add-on for the Unified Clothing overhaul. Again, you need the Far Harbor DLC, and his required mod for the UCO base game. Overhaul armor, and you also need the armor and weapon keywords community resource. Oh no, sorry, that's not fair. That's just if you're looking for his stuff. And again, another thing for the overhauls. This is a mod add-on for UCO from users of the Harbor. You must install the UCO Unified Clothing Overhaul base game first in order to use this plugin. Again, if the guy who had a problem with some of the USOs, UCO and USO stuff, just have a quick look and see if it does require anything to be actually added. Right, move straight on. So it's pretty much the same thing. Virtual iBot turrets requires the DLC for Far Harbor. Virtual iBot turrets craftable in workshop mode. Anybody can fix, re-upload, combine, can reconstruct this needed. Okay, so it's a virtual iBot turret, craftable. Craftable cat, no DLC. Okay. I'm really glad no one's watching this at the moment because my expression. I'm not even recording the camera on myself. I was gonna say the expression on my face would be like, "What the fuck?" This mod has a craftable cat on the decoration miscellaneous. This mod for people that don't have a wasteland workshop and want cats in their settlement. Cats cost 5 caps. They're so generous. Interesting construction. Okay, welcome to the first person who's joined the broadcast. Also, put a rating. Always make sure this is an interesting construction apparently. This mod allows you to build most objects and structures, e.g. modified fences, walls, roofs, furniture and other, to previously inaccessible areas. Some information on the screenshots, and there's not really that many screenshots unfortunately, so it just gives you a couple of brief ideas there as to some of the things you can actually get. Tappington Boathouse revamped. Teffington Boathouse revamp for the PlayStation 4. Complete revamp of Teffington Boathouse revamped, reworked landscapes, textures, layout, nav mesh, and structures in a regrowth style only affects the Teffington Boathouse revamped area. He has many more revamps on his channel. You can find them on the YouTube below. Just a couple of stuff there. Okay, Firelight. Requires the DLC for pretty much everything there is. Firelight is a lighting mod. As you can see from the screenshots there, the original and the Firelight is guaranteed. Showing it in... Alright, I don't really see much difference to be honest, apart from the last screenshot looks a little bit darker. Yeah, okay. Removes most of the dust and fog from interiors, normalizes saturation, contrast and brightness, cleans up the water and allows water to be dark in the darkest darkness. Okay. Firelight vanilla only. Fire Dark vanilla only. I'm guessing this has the opposite effect. Fire Dark 192 vanilla only. Fire Dark 164. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them here. If you want to check these out, then by all means. Integrated Commonwealth. There's quite a few new mods this week. Integrated Commonwealth seeks to fully integrate content introduced in various DLCs with the overall game world in a balanced, natural way. Features. Some DLC specific plants can now be found rarely throughout the Commonwealth and in DLC areas. Some DLC enemies will now be found rarely throughout the Commonwealth and in other DLC areas. Some DLC items, including weapons, ammunition, armor, and junk jets, now has a rare chance to be found throughout the game world on NPCs and in containers. Scrounger perk ranks now aid in discovery of DLC ammunition. 45 to 70, 7.62 and the harpoon throughout the game world. Some DLC specific food and drink items will now rarely appear in other areas. Nuka-Cola machines will now have a rare chance to spawn pre-war Nuka-Cola varieties added by the Nuka-World DLC, such as Victory and Wild. Note this is the same features as his standalone full-flavoured mod. Okay, there's a whole bunch of other stuff here. Vault lockers now have a chance containing specific jumpsuits in Vault 75, 81, 95 and 111 and 114 and 118. And okay, there is more information here than I was actually hoping for, but okay, it basically just adds a bunch of stuff into the Commonwealth. Better lack of term. Some more of these fire darks. I'm guessing the number equates to the intensity of it. Fire dark again. UCO base game core components. Magarama's home plate overhaul. This mod overhauls the interior of the home plate so it resembles Mayor McDonough's office in Diamond City. It also integrates additional architecture elements from the Colonial Tap House and the Diamond City Science Centre. Reorientates the interior of home plate to make it easier to decorate and modify the space. Removes the fog from the interior and assigns ownership of the home plate mailbox to the player. Excuse me. You'll need to start a new game before installing this mod. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case with a lot of stuff. If you have ever entered home plate before, you can install the mod without needing to start a new game. Oh, if you have never entered home plate, sorry. So in other words, you can use it if you're a returning player, but excuse me. Those are the things I can edit out when I'm not doing live. Excuse me again. Yeah, so basically, my understanding of this, if you've been playing a game for a while, but like me, you've never really bothered with home plate because you've got the other settlements, then you can use this mod on it, but if you have already entered it, then it won't have any effect whatsoever. Commonwealth visual overhaul. This mod overhauls the overall visual appearance of the game. Removal of fog and god rays, color adjustment, giving you vibrancy you've never experienced before. Adjustments to some of the lighting slightly all over the Commonwealth have given a new look to the game. Colours are less washed out and there are better light shadow contrast. The weather effects are slightly improved. Fire, plasma, and laser effects are enhanced, and check out the fireworks show while you're at it. These are always on personal tweaks you made for the PlayStation 4 experience and decided to share. Download this version if you do not have Nuka World and Far Harbor. This mod will or may or will conflict with other mods that have altered lighting, weather, interior, fog, things of that nature, and so on and so forth. Load order should be placed in the lower regions as normal. And you can see from the visual overhaul and then the vanilla version, quite a drastic difference, but not a massive difference. Depends if you want your game to look more real, I suppose, but you could say the same for either one of them. Commonwealth visual overhaul with DLC. This will be like Far Harbor, Nuka World, etc. Okay. Mod. Buy a slave and slave collar explosion. Okay, welcome to the Nuka world. You can buy a slave and you can kill slaves. You can kill a slave on the spot by throwing certificates of slavery. You can make slaves work in settlements or try shoots. How you use is up to you, because they have all been stripped of human rights. Even if they kill, they will not be a crime, and you can blow up a slave collar by using slave collar detonator. You can also purchase and create new slave collars. Let them know who your boss is in settlements. Okay. You can buy necessary items from Nuka World's market and port a gauge. Hence, no problem. Slave didn't work. If you want a slave to do your work, you need to decide the assignment to settlements by ordering move from workshop. Okay. I'd never ever done that. I must admit, I've never used these slave collars, but then again, I haven't really had the chance to spend much time in Nuka World. But with the current game footage being now actually completed, I've just done the bit with the finale of the Institute. So you can pretty much expect the Nuka World, Automatron, and everything else to be starting from that point onwards. But then again, I have got quite a lot of videos to upload before you'll actually get to see that, unfortunately. But like I said, stay tuned. I've managed to shorten down a lot of the modded gameplay footage. It's now focusing mostly on the stories as well. I've just uploaded the other day the Unlikely Valentine, and by the time I finish this as well, I'll be uploading some other stuff, so be sure to check that out as well. Alright, Waterfront Settlement Project is the next one up. Just outside of the financial district, along the waterfront, a small group of settlers have staked their claim to a few buildings and made it their own. In a little town of Long Wharf, you'll find an armour clothing vendor, a weapons vendor, an antique shop, a small diner. Who's Fenton? Who knows? I just work there, man. Okay. Heading along the pier, you'll find a small clinic and the camp of super mutants. If you clear them out, the townspeople might even be grateful enough to let you use a workbench there and to help you and help make the town even more prosperous. Okay, so another little settlement that you can renovate and modify. And hello to the single person that's in again. Okay. The Lost Building of Atlantic. As you wander through the ruins of downtown Boston, you'll find a building which is heavily fortified by a camp of raiders. You're not able to let out a bunch of raiders and get in your way of curiosity, so you blast through them and enter the building. Instead, you can learn the story of Alison Miller, the CEO of Atlantic Pharmaceuticals, who was consumed by greed and paid the ultimate price. Then find a doped up raider who learned the same story and will stop at nothing to uncover the pre-war bounty left behind by Mrs. Miller. What will happen? What? Huh? Well, probably a bunch of dead raiders, but you'll find out for sure when you explore Atlantic offices. Wait, Atlantic offices, the place in the glowing sea. Yep. If you're like me, when you first explored the glowing sea and you found a location called Atlantic offices, you were disappointed. I just walked back. I just walked all the heck way out of the great radioactive unknown to find a significant new location, and all I got was a collapsed skyscraper with a bunch of ghouls. Cool. Okay, so basically it adds a bit more quest to the Atlantic offices. Actually, no, it doesn't. I'm just gonna bear with me a second. I just want a quick look at this. The point is, he took that cell, figured out where it ought to have been based on the architecture and named convention and other areas around Boston. Oh, okay. So the Atlantic offices have been moved from the wasteland to downtown Boston in some area. So now you can do the quest that should have been meant for that bit in the Boston area instead. Okay. Jackpot. Custom missile launchers. Different. Cha-ching. Blast the enemies with the custom missile launcher that sends bottle cap mine missiles firing at your enemies. Find it on the workbench in Sanctuary along with some ammo, then get ready to blast those bad guys into a flurry of cold hard caps. Okay. Dr. Mobius's player home. I have covered this before in past weeks, so I'll skip over this one. Wicked Workshop. Pretty much the same thing. Again, it adds a workbench to the Wicked Shipping Fleet lockup, which means you can then scrap all this needless stuff once you took care of the ghouls. Dr. Mobius's Infinite Stash, Wicked Workshop, non-immersive version. Chicken... What? Where are they going to get chicken from? PlayStation 4 Hunters, Drinks and Food. Okay, just basically makes drinks and food god items. Okay, straightforward. Woman edit. Thanks for the pot of coins. Never expected that. Haha. Anyway, made this most. Anyway, this mod makes most of the women in the game taller, and some are taller than others. The female children are included. They messed around with this mod to feel like make people taller. So straightforward. Commonwealth weather overhaul. Requires DLC for just Far Harbor and Nuke World. This is a test phase yet. Feel free to download. Adds snow, adds enhanced radstorm and rainstorms, add polluted overcast weather fronts, adds enhanced foggy days, adds dust wind storms. Okay. Don't see any sign of snow there though. Immersive gameplay for the PlayStation 4, Good Neighbor, Player Home, electromagnetic chemical railgun mod, VR attacker spawning explorer, that's pretty much what we saw earlier, keep gauge after open season, okay, immersive gameplay for the hardcore patch, immersive gameplay, low tech. Okay, more unique weapons. Abandoned pool hideout at Parsons State. Oh yeah, we did cover this in a past one. I think it was for the player homes and buildings. But basically, once you clear out the bottom of Parsons, you can actually slip away, and there is an extra room that you can turn into a player home. Rivet City mod. I'm actually lacking on this one at the moment. This is one of the ones I said I was going to actually download, and I really have not had the chance to do it yet. So you know what? So I can't be called a liar. There you go. I'll give it a 5-star. I can always change it for now. The Rivet City mod adds your very own special aircraft carrier that comes with functional interior and exterior. The aircraft carrier acts as a player home for the Lone Wanderer, and is able to be customised with a workbench that is located outside the superstructure. The carrier is empty and ready to be customised to your individual liking. The mod is very detailed, and I hope you enjoy it. I've spent a lot of time working, make good quality mods, and so on and so forth. This one is by Voltman111, Voltman11 basically. Remodeler, okay, don't understand French unfortunately. Corpse decoration. You can decorate the white skeleton in your settlement's craftable. Okay. Why you don't want to do that, I don't know. Reusable camping. Perhaps he's just got a bone there. Okay. Reusable camping season pass. It requires a DLC for Far Harbor. This is the season pass version of its reusable camping mods. It's only currently requires Far Harbor for the tent, but I find something to add to the other DLC. It may add to this. Okay. YRK weapon mod. A box with prototype weapons will appear near the building with Vault 11, and no need DLC, no other mods. Okay, this may be pretty useful to you, but I'm gonna say it again, like I say always. Legendary modifications, the only mod you'll ever need for any weapon that you'll ever need. If you add this in combination with the choose your own perks mod, which basically will give you it'll let you increase almost every skill that you're going to level up to, from Lone Wasteland Wanderer, Radiation, Lead Belly. You know, basically when you see the Vault-Tec charts and it's got all those little pictures that you can choose your own perks, and they can level up to so many stars. Some have 3 stars, some might even have 1 star. You've got the Vault Girl, Vault Boy, depending on what you're playing as. It's basically got all of these. Some of them will only activate when you hit the required level, but you can read all the magazines ahead of time, and they'll basically, as you unlock in levels, the mod, the requirements will automatically kick in, so you don't need to then go and use one of your skill points to activate it. There are 1 or 2, I'll admit, which I have had to put one of my points into, but at the point I'm at now, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I filled up all the top ones: your strength, your intelligence, your luck. All of them are completely maxed out. All the other ones underneath it are completely maxed out, and I've had to fill out like 1 or 2 different ones with points, and I've got tons of points left over now, which I'm not actually using. Use that in combination with legendary modifications, which will then give you access to all the blacksmithing tools, robot workshops. It'll basically make your modification list unlimited. You can then add legendaries onto guns, armor, weapons, power armor, and eventually onto your robots as well. So there you go, just something to consider it, instead of you having to keep instead of you having to keep downloading this weapon mod, that weapon mod, this weapon mod, and ending up with like 20 mods out of your 100 mod limit just being these different weapons. Instead, just download legendary modifications, you make your own legendaries. It's just straightforward. Right. All settlements extended for not including Bunker Hill. Okay. All settlements extended including Bunker Hill. Jetpack and no fall damage. Double VATS range. Okay. Tank perk, armor and damage overhaul. Pre-walled sanctuary. You have to start a new game if you want to get this. Pre-walled settlements. This is by the same guy. I have got this one and it is very useful. There are a couple of settlements which haven't been actually done. I'll just go through to give Skibber123 his due. The ones that he has actually walled are Red Rocket, Starlight Drive, and Finch Farm, Nordhagen Beach. He's also done them around Kingsport Lighthouse, Old Station, Templeton Boathouse, 10 Pines Bluff, Abernathy Farm, Grey Garden, Green Top Nursery, Outpost Emerger, Sunshine Tidings Co-op, the Slog, and there's plans for like other ones as well. One thing I will say with this, a couple of settlements aren't actually done, but it's the ones that you could pretty much do something with yourself anyway. I'm trying to remember the one that I did the other day that didn't have one. It's really far down south. Mirkwater. Basically, it's the one where you have to fight a giant. Oh god, what the hell is it called? This is the one problem with doing live. I can't do my research, stop the video, and then resume. Uh, a Queen Mirelurk Queen even. There's a Queen Mirelurk Queen, whatever the hell is actually called. There's one of them protecting the workstation. I'm pretty sure it's Murkwater or Mirework. Fucking it, I don't care. Either way, that was one of the ones that was actually unmoddable. And also, I will say as well with the settlements, if you have got the scrap that settlement all-in-one mod, what newer version, you are able to scrap a lot more areas now as well. The barn house that was usually around the settlement machine, the workbench, all that can now be took down. The house still can't be, unfortunately, but I'm sure there are other mods like Scrap at Commonwealth where you can scrap everything, but you use them at your own risk. Anyway, moving on. Something mod. Create your own robot. Craft your own robot. Oh, this one actually piqued my interest. Yeah, you can now. Robots can now be created from Protectron to the mass production of Liberty Prime, requiring a large amount of resources and high scientific freedom. Created from the workshop turret category, DLC Automatron is unnecessary. Also, robots can be manufactured, cannot be repaired and remodeled with Automatron robot workbench. Okay, there is nothing to point to notice on installing. Okay. The one thing that caught my attention on this, besides the synth stormtrooper who's walking about there in the bottom corner, is the fact that you can mass produce Liberty Prime. This is just. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like Transformers, but for me, if you're going to have a protector to your settlement, what better than a bunch of Liberty Primes? Okay, favourite, and definitely download. See, you even get my live downloads on this one as well. I'm going to put a 5-star for this guy. This guy is Futso Shinsan. Sorry if I butchered your name there. When Liberty Prime starts battles, the settlers and settlements are also seriously damaged. Okay, well, I didn't say that bit, but I'm just going to move on anyway. Just pretend I didn't say that bit. Wasteland Waste Training. Okay. Wasteland Waste Trail. Okay, this basically alters your character to have a really weird gluten and stuff. Okay. Why would someone bring out a mod just that does that when you can do it in creator mode? Nuke shoulder launchers. More minigun damage. Don't know what that one is. Not even about. Starter stash and gear. Wasteland gains. Okay, it's just the male version of the weight increaser. Basic game, more logical and realistic weapons. This is basically the thing that makes people fall better when they're shot. Scrap exoskeletons. No idea what that one is. I'm dying to get up onto the top list so I can actually show you some stuff on there as well before I call it a day. Vault 88, restored lighting, rad scanners. Sunshine Tidings Co-op revamp. Seriously, need a glass of water as well because my voice is going. Completely revamp of Sunshine Tidings Co-op. Rework landscape, textures, layout, nav mesh, and structures in the regrowth style. Only affects the Sunshine Tidings Co-op area. You have no more revamps on this channel. You can find them on below, and there's no other things. Basically, it just adds a lot of grass and flattens out the areas by the looks of it. Immersive gameplay beta patch, immersive gameplay season patch, cyborg metal. Okay. Requires the DLC for Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World, and don't need to start a new game. You were starting a new game? Why? Well, won't work. Okay, description. This mod will allow you to play synth as a race. Okay, because I've just added that right at the top. Keep Radiance in the Commonwealth. Again, this one I've actually favorited. I haven't had a chance to download yet. Requires a DLC for Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World. This mob intends to keep all the Radiant repeatable quest assigned within the Commonwealth. So basically, every single thing on this. Have you ever got a mission off the Minutemen, or the Railroad, or the Brotherhood of Steel, or the Institute, depending on who it is you've worked for, and for some godforsaken reason, even though you haven't already gone, you haven't been there yet, it sends you to Nuka World, or it. If you played Skyrim, it had the exact same problem. You'd be doing a mission for the Thieves Guild or whoever, the Brotherhood, Dark Brotherhood, and they would send you over to Solstheim, even though you had no intention of going to Solstheim until you completed the main game. But they decided to actually send you over there. Well, anyway, this is the same thing with Fallout 4, where you'd be doing a normal mission, and they would send you over to Nuka World, or they'd send you to Far Harbor, and you'd have to then start the pre-missions for Far Harbor just to get over there, or you have to go through the assault course battle zone of Nuka World just to get into there, to get over to a galaxy area, just to get this one thing. Probably have to kill a shitload of synths just to come back in. Same thing. So basically, this mod is pretty good in the fact that it keeps all of the missions that you're going to get that are repeatable, the ones you can pick up from the Brotherhood of Steel, Railroad, whoever. This basically will keep them within the Commonwealth, the vanilla game area, and you will have to then unnecessarily transition into one of the DLC packs before you're actually ready. I unfortunately didn't start this yet, and I did get one which sent me to Nuka World. I haven't actually done it yet, and I won't be doing it until I have completed the Automatron stuff, because basically I don't want to go to Nuka World until very, very last. So I will be downloading this mod in the near future to stop any more Radiant missions actually sending me out there, especially if it's essential that I complete it. Anyway, moving on. Neutron Grenades, Hanging Heights settlement mod, first person animation tweaks, Automatron expanded, better custom fusion core drain, sarcastic dragon snarky loading screens, Gatling laser optimized capacitor, Thicket executions, settlement quests, Busty mod. Okay, I saw this one at the top before, I was just wondering what the hell it was. Busty increases the bust size of the player's character and most NPCs based on the character's chosen body shape. Once Busty mod is installed, it is best that you go to the Surgeon in Diamond City to adjust your character's body shape to get the best look. Tip: the lower left hand corner of the body triangle has the largest bust. The mod automatically affects most armor and clothing. Some clothing was not specifically reshaped for female characters, so Busty doesn't work as good with them, namely the 3-piece suits and stuff like that. Does not include body mesh or textures, it's merely scales in the in-game models. Okay, right. Mythic monsters. Yeah, I've seen this before. It requires DLC for Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World. This mod gives a recreation of some of the most interesting creatures of ancient and modern mythology. I don't think Jason Voorhees is actually mythology. Is modern mythology, should I say. But Jason Voorhees, Terminator Killer, and The Thing, and others. There's a whole bunch of different lists of stuff on there from pop culture, I think is the word he was looking for. Godzilla. Yeah. Mythic Creatures PlayStation 4 is basically looking like the same thing, or by the same creator. Exotic Enemies, Cheat Room for Nuka World patch, Atomic Cat's Garage Player Home, Cheat Room for the PlayStation 4, Captain Noob's Legendary Effects, Mod Weapons, 38 Fire Pistol, Deluxe Resources Pack. Okay, for the guy again who was asking if there are any other different stuff you can download without using USO, this is another one that's pretty good. It adds a bunch of different stuff for basically your settlements, unlocked presets, and that's it. Okay, last week when I can't remember if I was doing Skyrim at the time or Fallout, I tried to go over quickly some of mine, and unfortunately my wife and kid came back early from they're out in town, and I knew for a fact my son would be kicking off and everything else at the moment. So he's going for his terrible threes. We hoped the terrible 1.5 would eventually end by a terrible 2.5, but no, he's carrying on to terrible 3.5, nearly 4. And just to add on to that, my near 2-year-old is just starting her terrible 2s as well, and they bicker and fight and everything else. So I will spare you from all that. If they ever do come in or anything, I will try and cut the video. I will not put even my best friends through all that. Anyway, okay, so my library, here we go. I've obviously, during this process of this video, you've just seen me download Craft Your Own Robot, which I'll be hopefully able to showcase in future videos. Future videos for me, you'll be hanging on a little bit from, unfortunately. But if you did catch the live stream, the channel update I did the other day, I did announce, and I wish I'd done this at the start of the video, I was just a little bit nervous doing something that was live straight away, but I've now changed my upload days to a Tuesday, a Thursday and a Saturday. As you can tell with the mods for videos coming out today on a Saturday, today will be the Saturdays will now be the day that I actually do the mod reviews for both Skyrim and Fallout. I'll also be uploading the usual pre-recorded videos which I've actually done for the other games like Ghost Recon, Dragon Age Inquisition and Fallout modded gameplay. So yeah, half these mods I'm actually talking about you'll see featured in the modded gameplay, as well as the fact that I'm currently working through the story on a lot of the Fallout videos as well, but I still showcase any mods that are featured at a appropriate time. I'll also show you during the Fallout modded gameplay how to achieve the relative peace kind of thing as well, because as I finished it I was able to actually do it with both, well, with the Minutemen, the Railroad and the Brotherhood all coexisting. So throughout the gameplay I put little tips at the bottom of the video. As you follow the videos, when it gets to those points you'll actually notice what I'm actually doing. I'm deliberately making the Railroad, the Brotherhood and the Minutemen coexist to make it so basically when you finish the game you've still got all these open missions that you can go back and do. Neither side's trying to kill the other. You have to be careful when you're talking to Pam or when you're talking to Captain Kells on the Pridwen as well, because those two can have a mission that will start you on a path against the other. So just be on the lookout for them. If you do follow the videos, thank you very much, and stay tuned for even more information on them. Right, I've got the Scrap That Settlement all-in-one. This is the one I was mentioned before that pretty much does everything. Limited edition bobbleheads. This one you'll see in the video that's coming up pretty soon as well. This basically adds every bobblehead there is. Sanctuary Max crafting resources adds a Garden of Eden creation kit, a Gek or something like that. I forgot what the hell it's called. It adds a Gek outside in a suitcase outside the sanctuary. You just go pick it up and it's got all the crafting resources you'll need. Then don't forget to link all the settlements to wherever it is you decide to deposit them. Bounty Hunter, I still haven't got any off that yet, but that might be because I've got the DC Authority installed, which alters Diamond City. Scrap grass, leaves, bushes, etc. essential in my view, because you can scrap a lot more stuff that not necessarily this doesn't let you do. DC Glory, it keeps being updated, so so far this is the main one I like. There is a bit of frame rate slowing down in some areas, but not enough to be like stuttering or anything like that. Trust me, I know. KMZ Ventures, full, very rich vendors. Legendary modifications, again, this is the one I went over earlier, and I basically said this is the one that if you're going to be doing anything for making your own like legendaries and stuff like that, you don't need to have numerous weapons and an armor mod. You can just basically you can install this and it'll allow you to make your own legendary guns, your own legendary power armor, your own legendary this, that, and everything else. So yeah, pretty old settlements again. Another one I've mentioned when I came across it. Rich vendors requires DLC. Workshop player bed. If you've ever been sick and tired of Blake Abernathy or whoever is on the whoever you've got on a settlement, actually basically nicking your perfectly crafted bedroom, then this will give you a choice of about 20 beds that you can assign just as your bed only. They come in various different styles, from bunk bed to double bed to sleeping bag. There's quite a few different ones on top of the normal beds that you can assign. Just be careful when you're putting them down that you don't accidentally put down 20 of your beds when you're trying to put down 20 beds for the other players, like I did once, and then had to go back and change them because they were complaining that they didn't have anywhere to sleep. Or in this case, I thought you should know, people have been complaining about the sleeping situation. Fuck off. Yeah. Anyway, no build limit for with no DLC. Nuka Her combos. This basically is pretty good, but it does need a lot of work since there is no custom assets at the moment. It's probably one of the better hair packs you can actually get. I wouldn't say it's perfect though. No build limits for old DLC. High carry capacity for a new game. I don't need any rings or anything. My carry capacity is pretty much to the point where I can just endlessly pick up all over the world and I still won't max out. Light sword for any Star Wars lightsaber fans. Yeah, even has a pretty cool sound effect when you ignite it and stick it away again as well. Brotherhood of Steel ballistic uniform. For those who've seen my modded gameplay, you'll actually see that my character's been running around in that since the start. Although now I have beat the Institutes, I have finally changed into the Rocket Girl outfit. So in all future videos post destruction of the Institute, you'll see her in the jet propelled helmetless rocket suit. Okay, basically Speak of the Devil, and it's that one. Basically, it's that one, yeah. Ashara for 4 characters as presets. Choose your own perks. This again is the one I was on about, where you can go to like a perk locker there outside the Vault 111, and you can install all of the perks that you'll need. Preset collections, and well, okay, that's it for now. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have popped in and popped out on the live stream, I will try and do another live stream next week, or I might just stick to doing pre-recorded videos. We'll see. So thank you very much for watching if you have watched, and I'll see you next week. See you later.